Hey guys, so I'm going to scrapbook a photo today of a peacock that we saw at the zoo. And I'm pulling out these feathers. I've had them for quite a long time, but I've kept them in this kind of, I don't know what you would call that. I have a couple of so a couple of boxes. I keep miscellaneous stuff, and that is just some miscellaneous stuff. And I'm using some glitz paper here. This is Dance in Sunshine. It's their damask paper. And I'm going to use that yellow paper to mat the photo. And I'm just going to distress the edges using my Tim Holtz Distress tool a little bit. And then I thought at first that I was going to go with a blue and yellow color scheme. And I actually turn around and there is some blue that I use in the layout, but it actually turns into be more of a green and a yellow. That paper that I'm holding there in the back, I really wanted to use those peacock feathers, but I couldn't get them to work on this layout. So those are the layering pieces that you see there are also from Glitz. They're vintage blue whatnots. And I'm using a couple of them as layers on the page, and then I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going to put the feathers. And that one of the die cuts from that Whatnots collection says "Birdie Darling," so I thought that was cool. And then there's a bird on the one on the bottom that I actually cover up with the title of the layout. So yeah, so and then there's like the postcard, and then this die cut on the right hand side there also has some birds on it as well. So and then that there's a tag there that I'm going to use, and the color for this layout really goes a little crazy at some point. I use this. I'm going through this. I have a drawer that I call green journaling spots, and so I'm going through that and looking for pieces of that I could layer. And right now the colors look fine. And I'm gonna try to put this down so that all the mats stay, all the layers stay where I want them. This is not one of my strong suits. I twisted them a little bit so they got a little cattywampus. I love that word, cattywampus. I had a friend who was from Georgia who used that word all the time, and I picked it up from her, so you can blame her. Cattywampus. So I'm just picking up the layers here and adding the adhesive now that I have my main layers the way I want them. And I really wanted to make this a very layered layout and use multiple things to layer. And at this point it's looking good, and I wish I would have stopped with the layers right about. I'm pulling it up now because the picture is crooked. So I'm going to put some more adhesive down and try to make it straight. And then I'm trying to figure out now where I'm going to put these feathers, because I've had these feathers for quite a long time and I've really wanted to use them, and the only layout I could have used them on, to be honest, was the one with the peacock. And they kind of look like peacock feathers, so I don't even know where I got them, to be honest with you. They were in a kit I think I subscribed to a million years ago. I have no idea. But they're a little twisted and they're a little banged up from being in the drawer, so it's going to take a lot of glue dots to get them to lay where I want them. And I thought at first that I would leave them all free and flowing and all of that. Yeah, no, they need a lot of definition. So it's going to take a lot of glue dots to get these things to lay where I want them. And so while I'm doing that, let me tell you the story and the story behind the picture. We took the kids to the zoo, and at the zoo they let the peacocks walk around freely. They're not like in cages, they just walk around. And my nieces were petrified of these birds. Like they would stand behind my niece, Madison would be standing behind Stu, and then Sarah would stand behind her daddy. And I don't have a picture of them hiding, but we did get a picture of the bird. So I'm using a picture of the bird to tell the story about how the girls were so scared of these birds. So, and here I am, lots of glue dots to get those feathers to lay exactly the way I want them to. So now I'm happy with that, but I'm thinking to myself, I have created a lot of blue on that one side, and I don't have that much blue on the other side. And here's where the layout takes a turn that I'm still not sure I'm happy with. But sometimes they're not great, you know? Sometimes you just have to go. See that little tag there? Yeah. I end up using that tag right there. It is absolutely the wrong color. I thought I would use those wood thickers, but they were going to fade into the background, and they weren't, they didn't have any color to them, and they were going to fade into the background. So I'm going to use these Echo Park Everyday Eclectic Alpha stickers here to spell out the words scary bird, because that is what they were saying. And this light blue actually matches the layout quite well. I just wish I had not put that polka dotted green and blue tag on that one side. Oh dear. I don't know. Sometimes you hit a jackpot, you hit the jackpot, you're like, oh, I love this layout. And then other times you're like, what was I thinking? And this is definitely one of those what was I thinking moments. Because that green is so green and that blue is so blue, it doesn't really work. But, oh well. What are you going to do? I'm putting it up on some pop dots just to give it more of a tag-like feel. And then I'm like, all right, I'm going to have to add some more stuff to this other side to pull those colors over a bit. So I add this, and mostly I had that blue sticker from the, that's my Mind's Eye Lost and Found 3, the Oliver collection. Is from their sticker accessory sheet. And I felt like, I had it laying out on my desk forever because I had planned to use it on another layout and it didn't work, and I didn't put it back on the sticker sheet. It was just stuck to the side of my desk. So I decided, yeah, we're going to use that. And now there's no green at all in that upper right hand corner, so I'm going to try to find a way to solve that problem. So I'm looking at my trusty label stickers. When in doubt, pull out the label stickers. And then again, I used that tag down in the lower left hand corner there, and it has like an orangey kind of flower on it. And because I covered the orangey kind of tag up with all of the feathers, I'm also thinking, oh, I'm going to have to find some way to add that orange somewhere else in the layout. So, yeah. So I pulled the dark blue from that dark blue feather over to the left-hand side, and it says, I'd turn back if I were you. I thought that was a good saying because, they were so scared. And I'm using a bunch of these. So this one says favorite memory, and I'm going to pop the one end up on pop dots. And so that brings some of the green over to that side. And then I used a label sticker that says never forget today. That is kind of neutral up in the upper, in that upper portion right above where it says carte postale or something like that. And then there's like an orangish color label. It says what a wonderful day. And just using a bunch of label stickers to draw color up from the lower left to the upper right. And that one says laugh out loud, because I thought the story was hilarious. Because the kids were, they were petrified. I couldn't believe how scared they were. And now I'm thinking that upper corner, up the upper right hand corner there, really needs something. So you'll see what I do with that in a minute. It's another place that it's another. See, and here I'm like, oh, that label is terrible, and I look for ways to cover it up, and I'm gonna put the name of the zoo on it, but it doesn't. Here's where my layout takes another left turn. I'm gonna use this bright green because I have that bright green now in that tag that I put down on that left-hand side. So I feel like I need that bright green on the other side, or else the layout's not going to be balanced at all. So I throw that up there. And now at least the colors are on both sides. They may be awful colors, but they're on both sides. And I have these wood veneer birds from Studio Calico, and I'm pressing them into the ink pad. This is Colorbox Fluid Chalk ink in the color Ocean. And I find that the fluid chalk inks work the best to to color in wood veneer shape. So I'm using my tweezers to in an attempt not to get ink all over my fingers, and you guys know how that works. It doesn't. So I'm going to use 3 of these birds, 1 on the left side, 2 on the right side, to more bring that darker blue color into the layout, because right now that feather and then just the breast of the bird is the only like really dark blue. So I felt like I needed to spread that out more across the layout. So I did that. And now I'm going to look for some thread to put through that tag. It's funny because I didn't put it through the tag on the left hand side, that green and blue striped one, but I did go ahead and use a dark blue. This is jute from American Crafts, on the right hand side, again bringing that darker blue color in, and then I'm going to put that label up on some foam adhesive as well, and then I'm going to put my birds down with some Tombow Mono Multi Glue, which I find works very well on wood veneer. And then it's just, oh, I'm going to add in a 4th bird. I forgot about this. Another bird down there below where the feathers are. And I'm just using my tweezers to tap the tap those birds down so that the glue adheres. And then cleaning off my fingers, because even though I used my tweezers, I got ink all over my hands. So I'm thinking, oh, what am I gonna do now? What am I gonna do now? So I'm going through some yellow alpha stickers, and I'm using these pink paisley. They are from the Prairie Hill collection, and they're called, what are they called? Bitty blocks. I don't know where I've gone now. Oh, I'm back. Okay. And I'm just putting the name of the zoo at Plumpton Park Zoo on that tag there to kind of tone down that color. Oh, it's a mess. Isn't it funny how you put something on a layout and you're like, oh, this will be good. And then you get it all glued down and you're like, oh dear. Oh dear. That's how I was thinking for this layout. I was like, oh gosh, this is terrible. So, but, you know, it is what it is. And I guess in the end, except for that very bright green on the layout, I really like the layout, but I wish I had used different tags. I'm just using my Tim Holtz piercing tool there to, these are very small letters, so I'm just using that Tim Holtz piercer just to kind of, as you can see, they're sloping downward. So I pull them all up with the piercing tool to kind of put them back into a straight line, so it doesn't look like they're falling down a hill there. That's better. And now it's just time to add the journaling. So I add the date to that date sticker that I put up there, and I'm using a dark blue Sharpie marker. And you know, Sharpies are my favorite markers to use for journaling. I just like the feel of them as they go across the page. So I'm writing across the tags and then onto the actual background paper, and I probably should have put some lines on it or something because the writing is a bit, you know, going uphill, but whatever. So I was just talking about how the girls were scared of the bird, and then that's it. So here's a final look at the layout. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.